Hello guys, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about how to add or create a user while on AWS. While creating user on AWS as an administrator on AWS, you're going to have to add new people, new employee to give them the access to AWS so they can have access to all the resource of the company in AWS. So to do that is very, very simple. The first thing you need to do is that you need to sign in. As you can see, you're going to sign in. What I'm going to do on the console. Usually it's going to be I am user because you're going to be an administrator. But let's say that I'm the root user. I'm going to put the email and I'm going to put the password and I'm going to sign in. I already signed in. This is for root user or administrator. So after that, I'm going to go to IAM. IAM means Identity Access Management. So I'm going to go to IAM. On IAM, you're going to see that we have user group, user, role, and policy. The one we want to do today is users, right? So we're going to click on users. We're going to add a user. Let's call the user Anaya. I'm going to provide the access to the console to the user. And I'm going over here, you're going to have two possibilities. But what I'm going to choose is I want to create an IAM user. And I'm going to generate a password. So here's what we did, right? We create a user called an IAM. We provide a access to AWS console to that user. And over here, don't put this is the default one, but go into I want to create a IAM user. You can auto-generate a password or you can create a custom password. Usually we're going to auto-generate a password for the new employee. So we're going to make sure that at the first signing of that employee or that user is AWS going to require a new password by checking this one. So now the next thing is to go to next. Over here, we're going to give the set of permissions, right? We can give a permission from a group. We can add the user to a group so you can have the group permissions, or we can copy a permission for any other user, or we can attach a policy directly. So over here, this user, we want it to be an administrator. So over here, you're going to see over here, administrator access. We're going to check this permission policies. So we're going to check it and we're going to click on next. Over here, you can review everything. We create a user called Anayel. The password is going to be auto-generated and it's going to require a password reset at the first login. And the policy, the permission going to be administrator access, right? So we can add a tag, but it's not a big deal. So next we click on create a user. As you can see right here, it's going to give us three main things. It's going to give us the console signing URL, the username, and the console password. So what I'm going to do to make sure that this is working fine is that I'm going to add a new tab, and I'm going to copy this. Let me go into incognito mode. I'm going to open in incognito mode. So I'm incognito, so I'm going to paste this URL. So it's going to ask for the username. I'm going to copy the username and paste it right here. And the password, I'm going to copy the password and paste it right here. I'm going to sign in. Then it's going to require me to put the old password. I'm going to put the old password. And I'm going to put the new password. You can put whatever you want, as long as you follow the password policy. So I just put I put the old password, then I put the new password, and I retype the new password. Then I click on confirm password change. So now I do have access to any resource on AWS. Like I can go to IAM, and I have access to users. I can do whatever I want now because I am an administrator, right? Now, here's the thing. If you don't want somebody to have administrator access, you may want some employee only to view maybe the content of S3 bucket, but they cannot create, they cannot do anything except view the content, for example, of S3 bucket. How can you do that? The next thing I'm going to do is that let me make this one bigger. I'm going to return, and I'm going to create a new user. I'm going to go back again to users, add a user, and I'm going to call this user Igbo, right? I'm going to say I want this user to have the console. We're going to do pretty much the same thing, console access. I want to create an IAM user. I'm going to leave an auto-generate password, and I'm going to make sure that at the first sign in, the password will be reset, right? Then I click on next. On next, I'm going to come to attach direct policy. And I'm going to search for S3. Let's say that we want that person to have access only to S3 bucket, and he only can read the content. He cannot create or delete anything. He can see the content, read the content of S3 bucket, but he cannot do that. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go to Amazon S3 output read only. Or we're going to go with Amazon S3 read only access. That's the best policy for read only, right? It's going to give more permissions. So I'm going to go to next. I'm going to review everything. Then I'm going to go to create a user. So I do have a second user right here. Let me put this side by side. So now I'm going to log out, right? I'm going to log out. I'm going to try to sign. Let me copy this one again and paste it right here. If you want, it's going to give you the same page anyway. I'm going to copy the user and paste it. Then I'm going to copy the password and paste it, right? So it's going to ask me for a new password. I'm going to paste this password. Then I'm going to paste the new password. So I have access to the new user has access to our AWS console. But let's see if he can see a user. If he can see users. Let's see. Oh, access denied. So he cannot see users. Let's see if he can see the EC2. Let's go to EC2. You see, everything is error because he doesn't have access to anything beside the S3 bucket. Let's go to S3. You can see he can see the content of our bucket. Can he create a bucket? Let's see first if he can see the content of all the buckets. Yes, he can see the content. This is a website, and he can see the content of that website. And let's see if we can create a bucket. Let's create a bucket. Let's give it a name, my buck 123, for example. And let's go all the way down and click on create. You guys going to see it's going to say fail to create the bucket. It's going to give you to create a bucket, S3 bucket, create a bucket. Permission are required. So that means the user Igbo do not have other access than only the view. He cannot create, he cannot delete anything. So that is how we can add users to AWS using a console. So thank you for watching. See you next time. Peace.